Mental health is a big concern when it comes to financial problems, and so I wondered, when does financial stress become a part of us? For some, sadly, it starts as little kids, but for others, and most, students don't start thinking about finances until they decide to go to college. According to the article, financial distress, anxiety, depression, and suicide among American college students by Shirvi Asari, students with financial difficulties are at a higher risk of depression, anxiety, and suicide. Due to fees associated with college, students are more occupied with their finances rather than focusing on their academics. Free college tuition can help ease with their financial stress and letting them focus more on their academics and studies. And now this leads to college tuition fees as being unnecessary and undermining student success. All of us here are college students or have attended college, our professor. So we know the struggles of either that being you or a friend who stresses in making sure that we have enough money for our next semester or the courses or even finishing college in general. I came to wonder why we must pay thousands of dollars each semester when institutions are being funded through other resources. I questioned whether it being more important than our mental health. So this is why I became invested in understanding the pros and cons of this topic. Today, I will explain why tuition should not be a difficulty for students, how tuition-free college will help students complete a degree, and finally, how student demographics can increase in variety. First, let's focus on why tuition does not have to be burdened by the students. On May 2nd of 2020, the National Association of College and University Business Officers published the article, "What Does College Tuition Pay For?" where it charts that in the public four-year university, the average tuition is $10,440, while students only pay $3,870 out of that. Most of the money that students use for their tuitions is actually paid for example, FAFSA. Institutions know of such thing, and so they bump up the tuition to get that extra cash that is actually not necessary for us to even pay for. Some people might wonder where the money would come from for all of these students, for the wages of staff and such things as that. But currently, most of the tuition is actually coming from government, scholarship, and state subsidy. Most students choose their majors based on cost-benefit analysis of debt, which is often something that they're not usually passionate about. If there were less stress on money, then people around the world may be more inclined to pursue their passions. This would, in turn, result in a workforce that feels more satisfied with their jobs. The University of the People stated in their blog, "Pros and Cons of Lowering College Tuition." The University of the People could not have stated that better. Tuitions are killing students' futures in terms of happiness, and this makes students choose more of the majors that have a higher salary potential. Now that you know some of the burdens that tuition does, I will discuss how tuition-free college will give an advantage to students to actually complete a degree. According to the Ohio State News article, 70% of college students stress about finances from June 30, 2015, it states that 32% of students reported neglecting their studies at least sometimes because of the money they owed. Most students are not able to focus completely on their studies because of financial stress. A stress-free environment will increase time and energy towards their academic career. In the 2018 article, 51% of college students dropped out of the school due to cost study fines by Jade Scipione. It states that 79% of students delayed their graduation date, while 55% actually struggle to just pay their tuition overall. This shows how tuition is a driving factor of delaying and abandoning their degrees. Now understand how European graduate rates are much higher than ours. Their institutions are tuition free compared to ours. Finally, I will explain how student demographics will have a wider variety if tuition were to be free. 72% of Black students go into debt to pay for college for their educations compared to 56% of white students, according to John Marcus's 2018 article, Facts About Race and College Admissions. If we were to have a tuition-free education, then we would have a racial diversity. The more diverse people that attend college may lead to a more diverse workforce, meaning less unemployment, for example, Hispanics and African Americans in the US. The 2015 article, Minorities and Poor College Students Are Shouldering the Most Student Debt by Daniel Douglas Gabriel, states federal grant aid for low-income students, which students of color often rely on, barely covers a third of the costs of college, according to the Institute. With such high tuition, students of low-income households have a lower chance of attending college at all. Free tuition will give an opportunity to lower-income students and increase income diversity. Here, equality is the main key and focus when it comes to free tuition. In conclusion, I was able to explain why tuition should not be burdened by the students, how tuition-free college will help students complete a degree, and how student demographics can increase in variety. Once again, college tuition fees are unnecessary and undermine student success. If this is a problem for you, or if it's not, then put yourself in someone else's shoes. Imagine how it would feel like through daily life not worrying whether you will have enough money to get your next courses or even finish college at all. I hope it's a possibility for our future generations, and in the end, it will help the future of our nation. Thank you.